Hi, hello. Welcome to another tapping break today. We are going to do something a little bit different today. And I'm kind of excited for it. I do these often, but not often enough to incorporate them into my tapping break. So, we're going to be doing a little bit more of an intuitive tapping today around the topic of I am satisfied and fulfilled with daily mom life. Now, take a minute and sit with that. I am satisfied and fulfilled with daily mom life. With my daily life, I am satisfied and I am fulfilled. And I would love for you to just sit and tune in and see how that lands for you. Does that feel true for you? Does that feel like it's work? Do you need to lean into that? So, if you're new here, my name is Megan Basita. I'm an energy management mentor, and I work with moms specifically to help them leverage their energy so that they can make the most of their time, so that they can make the most of their everyday mom life. And so today's tapping break is going to be a little different. Like I said, we are going to do an intuitive tapping, which means we are going to take this topic of I am satisfied and fulfilled with daily mom life, and we're going to add some cards to the mix, and we're going to do it a little bit differently. So as you're tuning in, these two cards came out for me, for us. And so the first card was Fork in the Road, upside down. So if you want to know, I'm using Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reid. I absolutely love this deck, and I love her work, Colette Baron Reid. And then the second card was Breathe. So this first card was in protection, which means it's just an extra added hug that we would need. So as you're tuning into this, how much work does it feel? And are you doing, when you think about feeling satisfied and feeling fulfilled in your daily life, does that mean that the work that you're doing is actually fulfilling and satisfying? And what needs to change, in order for you to be able to be satisfied and to be able to be fulfilled with that? What needs to change? What do you need to do differently? And breathe into that. This is not a one and done. This is not an overnight success. This is not something that you can unravel in a session. This has been probably built and cultivated and established over decades. So don't expect to be able to make shifts and choose differently and see the results overnight, right? You got to breathe into it. You got to lean into it. You got to be open to it. And that's what we're going to tap into today here. So with that being said, you can make different daily choices that will accumulate and establish a different pattern, a different cycle, a different direction. And so just keeping those in mind as we go through the rest of today's tapping. Those were just some jumper cards. They just needed to come out, I guess. So hopefully you take that and do with it what you will. But the first thing that I wanted to tap on and pull on is, what do we need to tap out of? So we always talk about tapping into, tuning into, but what is kind of in our vicinity that we need to break, that we need to maybe not break necessarily, but we need to pull back the curtains. We need to lift the fog in some way, shape, or form. And so I am going to pull a card for, sorry, I always think that might be really loud on the thing. We're going to pull a card for what we need to tap out of today. So we need to tap out of chopping wood. So this is like tapping out of doing the daily routine, the daily grind, doing the things that, if you do what you do, you're going to get what you've always got. I also stop looking for happiness in the same place that you lost it. You're not going to be able to find the answer in the problem or the solution in the problem. All of these different ways of thinking about this. So I just want to quickly take a look. Chop wood, being grounded in everyday experiences and humility. So Yeah, okay. So maybe some of us are in a place where we're not meant to, or we need to do some pruning. We need to do the things that we do every day with a different energy, right? And so I think that's doing things differently and leaning into that. Like we're gonna layer these two cards in with everything. So when we are going about our day, when we are doing the carpool, when we're making lunches, when we are cleaning the house, doing laundry, when we are doing errands around town, when we're doing whatever it might be that we're doing for ourselves, like what can you, like, how do you usually do it? And do you feel satisfied and do you feel fulfilled at the end of a day after doing all the things that you need to do? And so what we need to tap out of is, I want to also say, tapping out of that energy or that perspective or that um, habit of just feeling like you know, we couldn't wait out the clock or we couldn't get all the things that we needed done to do on time, that we're missing, that we're lacking, that we're found wanting, or we're not enough, or we're unworthy or unvalued, or there was not enoughness somewhere throughout our day. So I think we focus a lot, especially on, you know, the never ending to-do list. There's never ending things to do around the house. There's never ending things to do with our kids, you know, the relationships, the dynamics. There's always going to be things that come up with that. And so if we are always, you know, focused on what we didn't get done or what we missed out on during the day, at the end of a day, then I think that's what we need to tap out of. We need to tap out of that thinking that we are missing the mark in some way, shape, or form. So let's go to the side of the hand and say, even though sometimes it's hard to recognize all that I have accomplished in a day, I tend to focus on what got away, what I missed, how much time I needed instead of how much time I got. All of these things that keep me striving or wanting more. I love and acknowledge this part of me today. Maybe I'm ready to see things differently. Even though daily life feels chaotic and scattered, I am distracted and feel pressure to get more done, to be more for others, and even to be more for myself. All of these things are adding up and adding to me feeling unfulfilled and unsatisfied. And I'd like to love and accept myself where I am today. Even though I focus on what I didn't accomplish sometimes, I wonder if I could change that today. I wonder if I could honor the things that I did get done, the time that I did have, and let that be enough. And wherever I am today, however I feel, I'd like to love and accept myself a little bit more today. Going to the top of the head. There's a lot of things on my to-do list. Eyebrow point. It's never ending. Side of the eye. the pressure and urgency underneath the eye that I feel every day underneath the nose has really taken its toll on me. Underneath the mouth, all of the expectations, collarbone point, all of the standards set underneath the arm probably were predetermined by someone else. Underneath the chest, and I've just taken them on. Wrist points like I take on everything else. Top of the head. I'd like to show myself some appreciation today. Eyebrow point. I choose unconditional acceptance in this moment. Side of the eye. I choose to acknowledge all that I've accomplished. Underneath the eye. And I wonder how I can deepen this feeling. Underneath the nose. What do I need to let go of? Underneath the mouth in order to feel this satisfaction and fulfillment. Collarbone point in a more amplified way. Underneath the arms. I forgive myself for believing that this is how it is. Underneath the chest. And I'll have to do these things every day still. Wrist points. But maybe I'm ready to do them differently. Top of the head. Maybe I'm ready to show up in a different energy. Eyebrow point. And maybe I'm ready to feel accomplished at the end of a long day. Side of the eye. Maybe I am one step closer. Underneath the eye to feeling satisfied and fulfilled. Underneath the nose with my everyday mom life. All right. Beautiful. So take a nice sip of water if you have, or coffee, tea. Feel free to take some notes right now. Take some notes about the way you do things, the way you end your day, what you focus on at the end of the day, what you focus on at the beginning of the day, how you focus on the tasks that you have to do, the conversations that you have to have, the space that you have to hold, like all of the things that we do as moms. Take a look at what you're doing every day and how much of it is on autopilot and the energy that drives that autopilot. And I think that is where the fork in the road comes from, and where we have to start breathing and being a little bit more intentional about the way that we come to things and the way that we show up for things as moms. Because those jobs, those duties, those tasks, those things, while they may change, they're going to be there every single day, day in, day out. I mean, we will always take care of the house and the home. We will always be there for our kids, maybe be there for, a spouse if we have. We will be there for the hard work. We're going to be there for the long haul. We're there for the long haul, right? And so, like I said, as those things change and shift, as our life changes and shifts, there's always going to be something. There's always going to be those daily duties, that daily conversation, interactions, whatever it might be. Wherever you go, there you are, right? So The shift that we need to tap out of is, that we have to do things have to be different, like that the things that we do on a daily basis has to be different. They're not going to change, really, I don't think. And this has been specifically true for me. It's like I still making my kids lunches, even though I really disliked doing that. And I've had to change my mindset around it. I've had to change how I feel about it, my beliefs around it, and tap into something different. Same with the dishes, same with the house. I mean, I'm a stay-at-home mom, so I'm a homemaker, and I'm focused more on the daily chores, the household routine, carpooling, errands, appointments, all of that thing, grocery shopping, cooking, cleaning, like a lot of those things my husband absolutely does help with when he is home, but he works full time, and he works shift work a lot of the time. So he is gone for 10 to 14 days out of the month, or out of on a shift, right? So a lot of it falls on me, and it can't not get done. These are non-negotiable things that we have to get done in our day. So how do we show up to do them differently? What do we want to feel when we do the dishes? What do we want to feel when we do have a conversation with our kids about something, or our homework, or, how do we want to hold space and presence for ourselves? So that is the question there. And here is not the answer, but this is what we're going to tap into. So we've tapped out of, this belief that we have to, like, our day has to look different, or we have to do things that we're going to be getting out of what we want, what we do on a daily basis. It's not actually that the things that we do are going to change. It's going to be how we show up that's going to change. And what we need to tap into in order to kind of help this along, the card that came up was upside down. Excuse me. It's no place like home, but it was in protection. So again, just a little bit of a nudge, just a little bit of an extra hug, as Colette Baron Reed says, just to, it's just something to look at a little bit differently, because it may be more tender. So we need to be more tender with it. So what do we need to tap into? There's no place like home. I just want to find it because I want to make sure. Yeah, so this card essentially means authenticity, coming home to yourself, feeling at home, arriving at a place where you just fit, being comfortable in your skin. But in the reverse, so the familiar, there are times when what is familiar and known is not the best choice. So it says here, avoid being too eager to find a home. So choosing unfamiliar things can help us, embrace what is right and not what is easy. And I think this time will not be different unless you do something differently. So again, this seems to be a thread throughout today, which I love. So in order to be satisfied and fulfilled with your daily life, you can't keep doing how you've done things in order to you're going to get what you've always got. And so no place like home, this means not just landing, making sure. So what this really is, this is what's coming through for me now, is the autopilot mode needs to be turned off. We need to stop living in autopilot mode on a daily basis and only shifting into alignment when we are, prompted to, which a lot of the times we're prompted in many, many things and many, many ways. We're prompted every single day in everything that we do, basically. But sometimes we don't see it, or we feel distracted or interrupted, or we miss it because we haven't set an intention, or we haven't made it a priority to actually move into alignment. And so I think that's a really cool thing to really focus on, is as you're moving throughout your day, as you're doing things on autopilot, what are you thinking about? How are you feeling? Are you sitting there ruminating and stressing and being like, God, I hate this. Is this all there is? What's coming to mind is, if you know your country, Reba McEntire, she's got a great song, Is There Life Out There, which is about, I believe it's a stay-at-home mom who chooses to go back to college or chooses to go back to work or something because, she doesn't want to leave. She's just wondering if there's life out there, right? So it's not that we have to stop doing what we've been doing. We just have to bring something different to the board. We have to bring something different to the game. And so we have to find something that's inspirational or intriguing for us, something that we can kind of be curious about. And this is exactly what I have done for myself personally, is instead of just going through the motions of everyday life, of everyday dishes, of everyday house and chores and kids and driving and blah, 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 I have sunk my teeth into personal development, and I think about this stuff and I really like shift and change so much in the in-betweens, while I'm doing dishes, while I'm vacuuming, while I'm driving, while I'm picking up my kids. And I notice it now, even especially now, because my kids are getting to a point where they are starting to ask different questions and I have different answers for them. And I'm really excited about that. And I'm not ashamed, I'm not shy, and I'm not, reserved because I'm like, oh God, I don't know if that's actually true anymore. God damn right it's true, because I know it, I believe it, this is how I see it, and I make sure that it's open so that they can come to their own conclusions as they can. But I'm bringing something different to the table. So let's tap on that. So think about this for yourself. Even though I will always have a daily grind, there will always be a to-do list. There will always be things to do. I am seeing this differently today. I'm seeing that there will always be a routine. Sorry. But how I show up to the routine is what matters. And I'd like to love and accept myself as I work through this today. Even though in the past, it's been really easy to stay on autopilot. It's been really easy to become apathetic. And I feel distant or numb about my daily life sometimes. I'd like to love and accept this part of me today. But also tap into another part of me who is ready to see and be curious around how I can do this and show up differently. Even though in the past I've just gone through the motions. Today I wonder if I'm ready to try showing up differently. I love and accept this part of me that wants to come through. And I wonder what I need in order to let her explore. Top of the head. I'm ready for a change. Eyebrow point. I am ready to see if there's life out there. Side of the eye. I'm ready to do what I've always been doing. Underneath the eye. To keep my routine. Underneath the nose. To feel comfortable. Underneath the mouth. But to also bring a spark to things. Collarbone point. I am ready to bring something different to the table. Underneath the arms. I don't really know what that means right now. underneath the chest, but I can feel it. Wrist points. I'm ready to know it when I see it. Top of the head. I'm open to bringing something new to the table. Top or eyebrow point. To change things up a little bit. Side of the eye. To get curious and explore. Underneath the eye. How my comfy routine underneath the nose can become more inspiring and intriguing. Underneath the mouth, so that I can feel more satisfaction and fulfillment. Collarbone point with my everyday mom life. All right, cool. So I think that's always the hard thing is like, well, what does that mean? What's that going to be? What do I want to do? What else do I want to bring to the table? Like, and sometimes we are very preoccupied with what is. It's really hard to see what could be. And so this next card we're going to pull is going to be the last card, and it is going to be kind of tuning into a higher frequency. And I can't remember if I had written something down about this. Maybe I did. Because I'm just going to check real quick. Yeah, so unseen guidance, right? So we don't know what we don't know. And we get tunnel vision, we get stuck in a line or autopilot, and we don't kind of see what's available on the sidelines or what's available in the peripheral. We are not really paying attention to kind of the things that could be right there, ready to bring in, because we're so fixated on our autopilot, or we haven't looked around for a little bit. So we're going to see this last card here is going to show us a little bit of the unseen, the higher frequency that you can tune into, the unseen guidance. And, it's kind of pointing out what we don't know. We don't know what we don't know. So we're going to go with this card. Poised. It's not going to focus. And I get obsessed about the focusing. Okay. So poised. What do we need to know about this? What number is this? I can't count. Okay. So being ready, bringing something to light, being at your best and confidence. So this is an auspicious time to begin new things. So you know what you need to, your skills are sharp, you've come to this place armed with wisdom and knowledge, and you sense a new phase of your life about to begin. Perfect. So I think that is the thing, is like moms know a lot. They know a hell of a lot. And they can see it for everybody else around them. But sometimes it's really hard as a mom, as a woman, to see for yourself what you are capable of, what your resourcefulness. It's hard sometimes to be ready for what you're ready for, and to be willing to take it, to be willing to acknowledge it, to be willing to focus on that a little bit more than focusing on what you can see for everyone else. And so as a mom, I ask myself that quite often. One of my questions lately has been, if I were to talk to my daughter about this, how would I share this with her? Or my son, how long would I want them to wait before they ask for assistance or guidance or help or support? Like, how long would I want my kids to do something before knowing that it's, right or wrong for them, or, just that question. And I apply it to myself. So what would I tell a client if they were coming to me and said, I'm ready, but I don't know what I'm ready for. For me, space. You just need space. You need to be open to space. You need to go through the motions, detach a little bit from wanting to know so badly, let go of that attachment, let go of that control, and just go through doing what you've been doing. Come to it a little bit differently, be a little bit more intentional, whether that's even, I did this for a little bit, where every time I did the dishes, I breathed. I just breathed the whole entire time. I would just focus on my breathing. And then when I would get distracted or I would forget, I'd come back and breathe. And I would just breathe. It was like a meditation while I was doing the dishes. Even if that's all you're doing as you're going through the day, as you're going through whatever it is, if you just breathe, that's going to help you find the different path. That's going to help you find the different fork in the road, because our breath is our most direct source to openness, to expansion, to life force, to energy, to chi, whatever you want to call it. It is our direct connection to it. So if we're just breathing better, deeply, or more intentionally when we're going about our day, we're going to be in a state of readiness. We're going to be regulating our system. We're going to be creating more patience and presence within us and around us. And then when those things pop up, we're going to be like, oh, there it is. That's the thing. Yeah. Come in here. Come on over here. Right? So we're going to say, we're going to start tapping on the side of the hand. And we're going to say, even though I sometimes get distracted, I feel like my autopilot is very strong. That's okay. I love and accept this part of me today. And I'm going to breathe differently throughout my day to be ready for more alignment. Even though I get quite focused and fixated on everything and everyone around me, I don't always take the time and space to do this for myself. But today I'm ready to do that. And I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I may have tried this in the past and I've become distracted or interrupted, and I've fallen off course, I'm ready to recommit to this today. Even if it's just taking deeper breaths and being more intentional about my inhales and exhales. And I choose to believe that this is enough today. And the rest will come. And I love and accept this place that I'm at right now. Top of the head. I am ready. Eyebrow point. I'm ready to breathe a little differently today. Side of the eye. I'm ready to open up a little bit more space today. Underneath the eye. I'm ready to be a little bit more observant today. Underneath the nose. I have managed and manipulated. Underneath the mouth. And controlled the situation perfectly fine until now. Collarbone point. Now what I need is to release and let go. Underneath the arm, because I know what I need to do. Underneath the chest, or I know that I am capable and resourceful. Wrist points to accept and acknowledge. Top of the head, the alignment as it arises. Eyebrow point. I choose to believe today side of the eye, that I'm ready to welcome in underneath the eye. More alignment today. Underneath the nose. I'm ready and willing to notice anything new or different. Underneath the mouth. That sparks my attention. Collarbone point. That piques my interest. Underneath the arms. I know what that stirring feeling feels like. Underneath the chest. And I'm ready to pay attention and be ready for when I feel that. Wrist points. In breathing differently and more intentionally today. Top of the head. I'm creating more space and more openness for this to come to me today. Eyebrow point. And I am ready. Great. Nice job. So that was fun. I hope that this made some sense for you today. I hope that you have a different perspective around being satisfied and fulfilled with your daily life, especially as a mom. And the other thing that I will just end on is redefine what satisfaction and fulfillment mean to you. Redefine what enough means. Redefine worthiness, redefine your values, redefine priorities and importance, whatever it might be, whatever word it is, that redefine alignment. Yesterday I was doing a training and the woman was talking about how alignment is just load optimization. So I was doing a yoga training. I'm doing a self-paced 200-hour yoga teacher training thing. And she was just talking about load optimization. And that's what alignment is. It's load optimization. And so if we want to become more aligned in our day, I know that alignment is a buzzword and it's probably to the end of its lifespan or its fad. This day and age has probably been over for a little bit. But I think about alignment in a different way. And so when I hear the word alignment, it doesn't bug me. When I hear the word balance, yeah, it's still, I understand it more. I'm a little bit more, I'm a little easier with that word now, but I don't believe in balance. I think balance is bullshit. I think it's all about fluidity and moving from one thing to the next. Alignment works for me. So redefine what alignment means if that word doesn't work for you, or find another word to replace it. Redefine satisfaction or fulfillment, or replace those words altogether. How do you want to feel at the end of a day of just regular mom life? Like, how do you want to feel on a daily basis? And start working towards redefining that. What does it mean? How is it important to you? And then what are the blocks or barriers that come up, or those different lenses, that kind of the limiting lenses that we have through past experiences or blocked emotions or, blocked body, energy meridians, blah, blah, blah. Like, I mean, there's so many things, and this is the work that I absolutely love. But yeah, really take a look at how you would like your everyday mom life to be. And yeah, it's going to be there. Bring something different to the table, and then get ready. Get ready to just feel differently about it. I think those are the biggest things. So I'd love to know if you enjoyed this intuitive tapping. I know I sure do. It really gives me I love riffing off of cards. They're like a cool jumping off point. And if you love this work, if you're interested in this work, if you are craving some satisfaction in your daily life, if you are craving more fulfillment, if you want to feel satiated, that has been a word that has been coming up for me in so many different ways. It's just like, I want to feel satiated. I want to feel fulfilled and satisfied. They all mean the same thing, but satiated, it has a different ring, a different tone for me. And it's just like, I want more of that this year. And so if those words or that energy kind of speaks to you, let me know. I have some really unique opportunities coming up to work with me in a very accessible way in, truth be told. Anyway, in January 2024. And I want to, really work on this. And I want to work with moms who really want more satisfaction, more fulfillment, and they're ready for it. They're done talking about it. They're ready to take action on it. So if that's you, reach out. Let's see if it's a fit. Let's see if January is the time to work together. And we will see you all next time for the next tapping break. Have an amazing rest of your day. Bye-bye.